So we picked boxing to work with survivors of violence because we know that when you experience violence, you lose control over your body. And during that time when you're experiencing the violence, and boxing is a really powerful way to feel your body back under your own control. Sometimes people come into a program like this with different kinds of relationships to the body. Sometimes there's a lot of anger at the kinds of injustices you've experienced in your life, structural violence as well, kind of racism and poverty and homelessness and other kinds of things, as well as domestic violence or interpersonal violence. So boxing gyms are places where you can really accommodate anger. You can really, it's a really powerful place to kind of come in, and you don't need to have an incredible skill base to do a program like Shape Your Life. You can be of any kind of fitness level. You can just come in. We can adapt it to work with different kinds of mobilities and different kinds of bodies.
Taking boxing classes, I began to realize that, you're holding hand pads for somebody, and then you get to hear their story a little bit. And a lot of the people that I was meeting, women that I was meeting, talked about their history of trauma, but also that they were also working in social services. And I thought, wow, either boxing and social services is really overrepresented in boxing, or there's something going on here that relates specifically to trauma.
So our trauma-informed Shape Your Life program does a couple of things differently than a typical boxing program. It, again, is non-contact, so women are never in a position where they're going to be on the end of any kind of violence while they're in the boxing gym. We also have it so there's a lot of supports for you to be in the program. There's no barriers. We try to remove as much as we can the things that would limit you from coming to the gym. And we also provide a lot of options and control. It's very participant-centered, so participants get to make decisions about how they want to move their bodies and what they want to try or not try.
So I was introduced to Shape Your Life as a participant when it first started 11 years ago. I remember walking out of the gym one time after boxing and taking up space, going down the sidewalk and not shrinking away from others, not moving necessarily out of the way so everyone else could have room on the sidewalk. And it was something quite unique for me to take up space and to felt like I deserved that space.
Coaches know that women are coming in with different experiences, different ways of being in their body, and so they provide different options. Just a lot of communication around how to really clearly outline what's going to happen, asking women permission before touching to do any assists, being very careful with the kind of language we use in the program. All these different kind of supports we have in place really make the program more trauma-informed and just accessible for women who are coming in from all different kinds of experiences.
Some of the participants, you can really see on their faces if they're having a bad day or if they're having a bad week or if something's up. So sometimes it's hard to not go over there and be like, what's wrong, what's going on? You sometimes have to let them go through what they need to do, whether it's hitting the heavy bag for the whole class or sitting on the side and watching.
We're just here to offer some tools, and you don't have to be a pro. You just have to understand and definitely have a lot of sympathy and empathy, but still being firm enough to deliver information that is new to them and make it fun as opposed to terrifying and scary and in what they think mostly boxing is something that's violent. You just show them strength. Your job is to just show them strength, I think.
So participants are loving Shape Your Life so much. There's a waiting list to get into the program. We have a waiting list right now of about 300 participants. The kinds of things we're hearing is that women are feeling powerful. They're feeling back in control. They're having fun. They're finding their body as a place of pleasure and comfort rather than a place where they've experienced violence or fear.
And there is something really beautiful about being in a community space where we come from experiences of trauma, and while that's the core reason why we're all together, somehow in that moment while we're boxing or while we're eating or while we're, cheering each other on, the trauma seems to take a back seat. It's not the purpose of our enjoyment of being together anymore. And in a world where trauma is just so prominent in our lives, where it seems can sometimes guide and motivate many of our actions and beliefs, to be in a space with other women where that's not the case, where we can actually have fun with our bodies, where our bodies are a source of pleasure and a source of strength, is just almost revolutionary, I would say.